Global interest about the Chernobyl disaster is growing rapidly. Thousands of people all over the world come to Ukraine annually to visit the exclusion zone on special tours with local experts. The number of tourists going into Chernobyl increased by 30% in June, right after the debut of the HBO series. If you take a look at what people are Googling about the nuclear power plant, you will see a huge peak in interest over the last couple of weeks. So why do people come here? What do they really want to know? I went on a trip to Chernobyl to see the consequences of the nuclear disaster for myself and to discuss it with a local expert. How dangerous is the radiation level in Chernobyl today? Does radiation have a taste or a smell? When will Chernobyl stop being radioactive? And is there a chance that a similar catastrophe could ever happen in the world ever again? Hi, my name is Jeremy, you're watching OSSA, and it's time to answer all the most Googled questions about the Chernobyl disaster and radiation. It's not only Chernobyl and Pripyat that are uninhabited. The radiation exposure affected several villages in the surrounding area, and also a large natural area that is now known as the Red Forest. This is a 4-square-mile area which got its name because of the color of the pine trees. They received huge levels of radiation during the disaster that made them look ginger brown. So just so you know, this is a high level of radiation. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I just wanted to show you. Is it safe to visit Chernobyl, and how strong is the radiation here?
It is a very popular question, and to answer in a few words, it's very complicated, truly said. Definitely the places we're going to visit are safe, because this area is under international control, and we have automatic system to check the level of radiation. But definitely we have some hotspots even in Pripyat city with the radiation like 40, 50 microsieverts, sometimes 300.
So what does 300 mean, to put that in perspective?
300 means if you get it just for a few minutes, nothing serious would happen with you. If you stay maybe for a month near this source of radiation, you would get some problem maybe with the skin or something like that.
Radiation level rises. So you mentioned that there's different kinds of radiation?
That's right. We have inside the Chernobyl zone 3 types of radiation. Gamma radiation, but it is natural. It is sun radiation. And we have beta radiation because of the beta radioactive particles, cesium and strontium. We still have it. We have got it after the accident. And we have alpha radiation because of the plutonium. As you know, we have got about 8 tons of plutonium outside the reactor because of the accident.
A lot of people ask, does radiation have a smell or a taste? Does it taste like metal?
Yeah, very popular question as well. It makes a test, but not a metal test. Because from the very beginning, people got a taste like a lemon. Later, they have got a metal taste, but not because of the radioactive elements, not because of the radiation. They dropped down inside the reactor, to the melted part of the reactor, a lot of lead, many thousand tons. And the first batch of the lead vaporized, and people got it inside. So it was the metal taste, it was a taste of the lead.
Is it true that radioactive things glow in the dark?
Yeah, it's quite possible, because when the air is ionized, like after the accident.
It's like charged with...
That's right. I know one man he saw the explosion personally, and he was at the head of the police when the accident happened, just 200 meters from the reactor. And he told me that it was looking like something glowing at night, like a column of light going to the sky. So it is ionized air.
Is it true that vodka helps protect you against radiation?
Vodka, it is, yeah. You know, a lot of people, they have got a lot of vodka after the accident, because it was like a story or unofficial information. I mean, for the liquidators, that vodka would help them to survive. I believe it is not true, because the scientists from our scientific center, they tell that maybe vodka absorbs not so much radiation as water, but not a big difference. So to get safe, you must to replace as much water inside your body by vodka. But definitely you would die because of the alcoholic intoxication.
I see.
So better not to do it.
Got it.
So it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Maybe it's more for the spirit than the
That's right.
the
It's
body.
for the spirit and to relax.
It started raining. Should I be afraid of this?
Maybe. If we get
Maybe.
too close, yes, it could be radioactive, but this one I believe not.
It's not okay. Maybe we
Don't
should
worry about
find some shelter.
But better is to find some shelter, yes, definitely.
Okay, sounds good.
But just because of the rain, not because of the radiation.
So now we're inside, covered from the rain. Is it safe for us to be inside this building?
It is, in terms of radiation, it is safe, because you understand that they have got a cloud here, but all the radioactive particles, radioactive ash, was falling down from the sky, and the windows, doors were closed. So they have got everything just on the roofs and on the walls, but outside. So inside, they have got approximately nothing.
So how many people died from the Chernobyl disaster?
Because of the night accident, you mean, or in total?
How about both?
Both. Because you see, because of the night accident, disaster, officially died just 31 people. Operators, some operators, and 29 firefighters. And the night shift operators.
I see.
Not all of them, but some of them. 2 operators and 29 firefighters officially died in Moscow.
Okay.
In the hospital number 6. Later, definitely we have got more victims. But you can imagine, we have got a lot of pilots to drop down the lead and sand from the helicopters, and definitely some of them died fast, in a year maybe.
Wow.
And a lot of soldiers died, I mean, by robots. Soldiers who cleaned the roof of the reactor number 4 and 3, the most contaminated places, radioactive places, instead of robots. Because robots were collapsed because of the radiation.
I see.
And they had to use people because they have got no time to wait. They had to clean up this area as fast as possible and to build the first sarcophagus.
And you tell us why it was necessary to build a sarcophagus over the first enclosure?
The reason is that because of the accident, we have got just 5% of radioactive fuel outside, and the rest is still inside. And the full load of one reactor is 200 tons of uranium. So you can imagine about more than 190 tons of uranium is still inside.
190 tons of uranium?
That's right, yeah. So it means that inside the reactor number 4, we still have a huge radiation. And the problem is that radiation destroys any materials, even concrete. And the first sarcophagus was made of concrete. So that is why it was partially collapsed. And that is why the expiry date of the first one, it was just 30 years. The scientists calculated that it would be enough to be destroyed by radiation from inside. So that is why they had to cover with the new one. First one was partially collapsed.
How many people were living here at the time of?
It was not a very big city. In 1886, when the disaster happened, they have got about 50,000, but a lot of children.
A lot of children.
About 17,000 children, because it was kind of luxury city. So they have got a good wages, salaries, and...
This was mostly young families that were living here?
That's right, they have got young people here. They have got any cemetery here.
They don't even have a cemetery?
No, because they have got first inhabitants in the city in 1977. So when the disaster happened, the city was just 8 years old, 9 years old. It was kind of a Soviet dream or American dream for Soviet people. They have got everything here. So it was kind of, they have got a good food in the markets, for example. They have got even exotic fruits like pineapples or bananas. So meat, because the rest of the Soviet Union was very poor. So the Soviet Union created here kind of a paradise city.
So I understand that there are still some people living in Pripyat?
Not in Pripyat.
Not in Pripyat, oh.
Not in Pripyat. The second day, after the accident, when the Soviet Union realized that the situation is dangerous for the people, all the population of the city, they were evacuated to Kiev region the next day after the accident.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. They have got radioactive cloud here. They started to measure the radiation. Radiation was rising, so they decided that it is dangerous for the people. And by buses, by rockets, it is hydrophilic boat. People were evacuated to Kiev direction and never came back.
I understand.
So definitely they have got the information, they come back in 3 days.
Have you found an uptick in the number of tourists since the HBO series?
Definitely.
Is that right?
Yes, we get more and more visitors inside the Chernobyl zone. People are very curious to visit this place, especially after this HBO serial. But anyway, before we have got a lot as well. For the last year we have got, if I'm not mistaken, about 70,000 visitors.
70,000?
But this autumn, I believe we get maybe 30% more.
Oh my,
especially
wow.
after this serial, because right now, even today, we get more people than before, than the last season.
Wow.
So people come in here, you say, to visit this place, a place of disaster, maybe, like an adventure.
So behind me, this building is the hospital where the Chernobyl firefighters were brought after helping to put out the fire at the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Right now, it's somewhat covered with foliage and moss, but the ambulances actually took the firefighters up here and they entered the hospital through that door there. Down in the basement is actually one of the most radioactive spots remaining in Pripyat. That's where the firefighters' uniforms were taken off, and they remain there to this day. If you missed the first episode of our series, then check it out right now. Thank you for watching our series. Let us know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Subscribe to our new channel called Awesome Movies, which is all about your favorite films. And stay awesome.